Hello and thanks for joining us this Friday at noon. I'm Mackailyn Johnson. Here are some of the stories we're following today. What we're learning about a Stuttgart officer's final moments and the suspect involved. Ahead, the police chase that led to the shooting and the hostage situation where a state trooper was shot.
The Texas border sees a big increase in migrants, and with the pandemic-related Title 42 set to expire, local leaders in El Paso are pleading with Congress for help. I'm Nicole D'Antonio on Capitol Hill with the latest on this deadline.
And during this season of giving at 12:21, we're giving you a special look inside the Angel Warehouse where volunteers are working overtime to grant the Christmas wishes of Arkansas kids. But first, Chief Meteorologist Tom Brannon is here with us. Tom, it is quiet, but it's cold out there. What can we expect this weekend?
I'll tell you, I'll take cold and quiet over volatile any day of the week, Mackailyn. Thank you. Filling in for Scott Covert here this afternoon. And we did have some cloud cover move in. Thought we would, a little thicker in some places. Call it partly sunny outside if you live in northern Arkansas. Getting a lot more of that sunshine, but those high and mid-level clouds streaming in from the west. A weak disturbance riding with the jet stream. There are even a few raindrops I'll show you here in just a moment. But yeah, cold is the operative word. 46 downtown, 46 Texarkana. Harrison and Mountain Home at 38 will struggle to reach 50 today. And you can see a little bit of some of those light green echoes or returns on the map. Most of that is, if any of it at all, is not reaching the ground. The air mass is just simply too dry. Let's call it mostly cloudy to partly sunny for the rest of the afternoon here in the metro. A little bit more cloud cover to the south, a little more sunshine to the north. We should return to a full amount of sun tomorrow. And we'll talk about the rest of your weekend forecast in just a few moments. Mackailyn?
Thanks, Tom. Now to our continuing coverage of the Stuttgart officer killed in the line of duty. Today, the community is still reeling from the news we first broke yesterday. Here's the timeline of what we know. State police say Sergeant Donald Scobie and another Stuttgart officer tried to arrest the suspect, Jacob Barnes, during a foot chase. Barnes reportedly shot at the officers, hitting Scobie, who later died. Later, Barnes somehow got inside a nearby home with a woman inside. State police say she barricaded herself. When state police arrived, more gunfire broke out. A state trooper was hit and taken to a hospital. The woman in the home safely escaped. Barnes died in a shootout with the state police SWAT team. State police are leading the investigation into the entire chaotic series of events at the crime scene just south of Stuttgart. This afternoon, we know the state trooper who was hurt is expected to survive after being taken to a Little Rock hospital, and we're working to learn their name. And this afternoon, a patrol car sits in front of Stuttgart City Hall with flowers and ribbons, a growing memorial to Sergeant Donald Scobie, a beloved member of the local community. We know Sergeant Scobie had been with Stuttgart Police for 4 years. He was honored as Stuttgart Officer of the Year in 2019. A visitation is scheduled for this Sunday evening at Turpin Funeral Home. His funeral is set for this Monday at 1 p.m. at the Grand Prairie Center. That's the large civic center in Stuttgart. Those who knew him say he was more than just a community protector. He was a friend to everyone.
He'd go above and beyond. He wasn't like a policeman. You know, you'd see him at Walmart in uniform or on the street, and he would always come up and say hi. If you had time, he'd talk to you. And we'd talk about everything from ducks to, you know, the traffic over on Park Avenue at the school, and you know how bad that's gotten, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it was just a friendly relationship. It wasn't police officer citizen type deal.
Flags are flying at half-staff in Stuttgart through the funeral on Monday. Well, we told you yesterday that multiple states are banning the use of TikTok on official government devices, and soon Arkansas may be joining that list. State Senator Gary Stubblefield has now filed a bill that would ban public entities from using TikTok on any state-owned or leased device like a phone or computer. He believes before the end of 2023 that most states will ban the app because of security concerns. TikTok is owned by a Chinese company and has been the subject of recent security concerns.
It's very important that we do not allow them to have access to this data that they're going to, of course, we have no idea how they're going to use it. They can use it in a number of different ways. It has spyware in it. It has facial recognition. It has credit information.
The bill filed in Arkansas would have to be passed by the Senate and House and then be signed into law by the incoming governor. The legislative session starts on January 9th. An update to a story we've been following for weeks. Central Arkansas Water will be delaying a vote that would have approved a 10-year plan of rate increases. The Board of Commissioners are postponing that decision for a month to further review the proposal. CAW says the rate increases are essential for some much-needed infrastructure updates. The issue will be brought up again at the board's January meeting. In Arkansas business news, Walmart is expanding its drone delivery service. The retailer on Thursday announced that drone delivery is now available in cities in Florida, Texas, and Arizona. The move is part of a multi-state expansion of the service to be completed by the end of the year. Aerial deliveries are being made through Drone Up, a Virginia company that Walmart partly owns. The retailer said drones will fly from 11 stores in the Dallas area, 7 stores across the Tampa and Orlando areas, and 4 stores in the Phoenix area. Delivery is expected to begin in Utah and Virginia in the next few weeks, growing the network to 34 stores in 23 cities. Well, you'll be able to order 4 rapid virus tests per home. The White House says orders will start shipping next week. This comes as more than 90% of the nation sees a surge in COVID cases ahead of the holiday season. Nationwide, cases are up nearly 50% in just 1 week, according to the latest CDC numbers. And COVID deaths are up nearly 62%. Dr. Ashish Jha, the Biden administration's COVID coordinator, says they preserve the tests so they could have them on hand if a spike like this occurred.
The good news is this virus does not have the same impact on our lives that it did 2 years ago or even what it did last year.
He also says that's due to more treatments, tests, and more people getting vaccinated. A humanitarian crisis is unfolding on the U.S. southern border. Each day for the past week, about 2,500 migrants have crossed the Rio Grande near El Paso, Texas, seeking asylum. Authorities are scrambling to find places to shelter them as the temperatures dip below freezing at night. Nicole D'Antonio reports.
The long line at this border crossing outside El Paso, Texas gets longer every day, with people from Ecuador, Colombia, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. Many say they're fleeing persecution and poverty. This family traveled 20 days from Ecuador, where they say a criminal gang extorted them and threatened to harm their young daughter.
En un futuro, tener un buen trabajo, estudiar.
She says she's looking forward to a future of study and work. Several times a day, Border Patrol opens up the gates to let dozens of migrants in to be processed. Each day, about 1,600 are released into El Paso, where shelters and hotels are full. Many are sleeping on the streets in freezing temperatures and relying on the kindness of volunteers like Sandra Grace Martinez.
My biggest concern for them is not to die out here in the street.
This is the situation under Title 42, a policy enacted under President Trump to expel and deport immigrants before they can claim asylum due to COVID concerns. Next week, that policy is set to expire, and El Paso officials expect the number of migrants seeking asylum will double. Congressional officials tell CBS News that negotiations on a bipartisan compromise on U.S. immigration and border policy failed to gain enough support to pass by the end of this year. 19 Republican-led states have asked appeals courts to delay the termination of Title 42.
We have a crisis on the southern border. They can't deny it.
The Department of Homeland Security has released a 6-point plan for when Title 42 is lifted, including sending more resources to the border, stricter consequences for unlawful entry, and increasing efficiency in processing those who enter. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, Washington.
Well, this is the season of giving. In 5 minutes, we share the story of how one Ohio teen is paying it forward in a big way. But first, a quick check of this cold weather, Tom.
Oh, yeah, it feels like Christmas outside. Should put you in a good mood. Shopping tomorrow, all the crowds, highways backed up and stacked up with traffic. Yeah, that'll make me want to stay home right there. But the weather coming up after the break does include the continuance of the cold air, some sunshine coming back for the weekend, and then more cold air next week. We're back with more in just a moment.